Hello and welcome to a new video, and here we're at Shenington Kart Racing Club for round number 2 of the Club 100 Junior Super Lightweight Southern Championship. After a good result coming out at Wilton with a P3 and a P1, we're looking for another great result to try and hold our place in the championship. So will we be able to do so? Will we be able to get a podium? Watch the full video to find out. Hello and welcome to a new video, and today we're at Shenington Kart Racing Club, round number 2 of the Junior Super Lightweight Southern Championship. A long time since I've been to the circuit. I mean, the first time and only time I've been here was 2022 for the first ever Club 100 Cadet Academy Day. So brings back quite a lot of nostalgia since not being here for 3 years in the cadets. Definitely will be a different driving experience in the juniors. Probably a lot more fun. I expect slipstream will be quite powerful here due to the really long straight nature of this track. But yeah, really looking forward to it. I reckon grip levels will be quite high. It seems like there's quite a lot of rubber on the track, but obviously it will just grip up over time. But yeah, really looking forward to it. I see Logan McAllister over there for the pre-event drivers briefing, so they'll be going out very shortly. And yeah, looking forward to a great days of racing. Looking forward to probably a top 3 result today. Trying to get back the championship lead off Logan, where I'm only 1 point behind. So I see him. So yeah, really looking forward to it. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
No, you're not paying that on YouTube.
What's the fault, bro? Okay, I got clip. So now heading out for our practice session here at Shenington. So I'm actually going to pull off to the side here, as I agreed with Jack Bromham that I wanted to sort of stick behind him, as he actually came first, I believe, in the pre-event. He did really well, set a really rapid lap time. So I thought it would be a good idea to wait for him and just sort of follow him behind. So I actually waited up for a lap, and you can see my tyres are pretty cold. So gonna expect him to come past pretty quickly, as he does, I'm pretty sure, into this hairpin. Yep, there he goes. And we're going to see if we can just follow him along for a bit to try and find his lines, see where we're losing time. And yeah, that's the best way to learn a new track. Just sit behind someone very fast, or someone that's done previous practice around the track, and then just learn off them. So now we're going to tuck into the toe. You can see there's some crazy head ducking technique from Jack there, going into the final hairpin, which is very tricky. As you can see there, Jack sort of locked up a bit. And you have to go in a lot wider than you think. So I think that was my main mistake that I kept sort of making all day long, where I wasn't opening up the corner fully enough, and that sort of meant my exit was compromised. It meant my entry was very fast, which seemed to be my strong point at this track and at most tracks, where I seem to be very good on the entries of corners and then slow on the exits. As you see here, Jack's actually pulled away quite a lot. But again, we gained on the brakes, and yeah, we're following him behind, and oh, never mind. Jack's just bazzed it. So let's just see what just happened there. So he just got on the sausage curb, and that just completely dragged him round, and he went up the hill. So not the most optimal line there from Jack. So we'll make sure not to do that, and that sort of just proves how sort of deadly that sausage curb is. So we've got to stay well clear of that curb. You see here we've caught up to some other drivers in front, and again, it just shows this track how important your exits are, as that driver in front didn't got a bad exit, and we just fly past him on the straight. And now we're going to tuck into the toe once again, the driver in front, and we're going to dive down the inside. So a lovely move from us. And to prevent getting switched back, you need to make sure you really run it wide on the exit. And we actually get lapped past there, but I think that was Jamie Riches, so very kind of him to let us through there. Now skipping forwards a little bit behind another driver here, and again, it just proves how important your exits are, especially in Club 100, where they've got less power than an owner. where you really need to get your exits perfectly spot on, otherwise you just lose so much time, like the driver in front did. And we're going to go down the inside into the hairpin. Lovely move once again. You can see I'm really kicking the rear out. I wouldn't say it's quicker, but it's definitely a lot more fun to do so. And it's only practice. There's no sort of pressure to set good lap times. Obviously, you still want to see what your true pace is like, but obviously, it doesn't matter too much if you go wrong. And again, like I said, for like the third time, driver in front messes up the exit and you just fly past them on the straight. And yeah, another good move from us. You see, once again, just sort of really pushing the car on the brakes into the corners. But I believe that was all the action from practice, so let's see what I thought of it. So that was practice. 14th, so not the best, but my driving was definitely up to pace. I was really enjoying driving around in these karts. You can really like lock the brakes quite a lot and really use that to help slow down the car into the hairpins. I was 14th, but I was only 3/10 off, but considering the nature of the circuit, 3/10 is a lot of time. But I definitely think if we get a good car, we'll definitely be up there, so yeah. So now heading straight out for our qualifying session. So I'm going to pull off to the side once again, but this time I've got Jensen, who was very quick in the previous session as well. And you can see Jack's now in front of us, so we're going to see if we can follow him along. And there's actually a yellow flag, so we're going to wait up and make sure we're not speeding under yellows, as that is quite an easy penalty to get, especially in qualifying. So you don't want to risk getting silly penalties like that in qualifying. So skipping forwards a little bit there, and as you can see, or as you're about to see, the slipstream around Shenington is pretty powerful. So we do get a slightly better exit than Jack, but we see we're still about 2 car lengths back, and you just see we get dragged right up to the back of him down the straight, and we've closed up right on the braking zone as well. But obviously we're going to try and maximise our exit speed coming round the last corner, and we're going to tuck in behind him once again. And you'll just see how we just drag up to the back of him as the speed increases. Really, you see there, the higher speed you sort of go, the more powerful it gets, because obviously the quicker you go, the more air resistance, the more air the driver in front is pushing out the way. So the bigger the effect is. As you see there, actually, I messed up my exit slightly, but then, again, look, as soon as we build more speed, we gain back up to the back of the driver in front, which is obviously Jack Bromham. So, good qualifying session so far. We're just working together, trying to set some good lap times. Obviously, it's only like the 3rd lap in, 2nd lap in, and the tyres aren't fully up to temp, as you see there. Jack slightly went wide there. And I thought about overtaking here, but I actually tucked right back in behind him, which is the best thing to do, as there's also a driver on the right-hand side. So you don't want to clobber into someone by accident, especially in a qualifying session. And yeah, I worked with Jack for the majority of this qualifying session, just sort of pushing forwards, pushing him along, and yeah, managed to make some very good lap times, very good progress. And you could just see how quickly me and him were just catching up to these drivers in front. So yeah, every single opportunity I'm just trying to push him down the straight, just that little bit, give him that little bit extra speed and momentum. As you see, there's about a group of, I think, 6 karts or so in front of us, so it's going to make it difficult for us to set a good lap time, which is not great, of course, as in qualifying you're trying to set the best lap time possible to determine where you'll start in each final and what final you'll even be starting in. So you see that we just completely power past one driver there who messed up their exit, and Jack Bromham's going to go down the inside of another one, I believe. Yes, he does. And it gets very clogged up here, actually, so I actually had to go on the curb and I whacked into the back of Jack there. So I'm not really sure what happened there. I think someone on the left was waiting up and then someone else was waiting, and then it just got very congested when Jack also tried to overtake as well. But we go around the outside of the driver there. It's a lovely move, actually. It's only qualifying, so it doesn't matter about positioning. It's all about the lap times. So we're going to try our best to catch back up to Jack, and we actually already seem to be a little bit, as we seem to have got the track a lot more dialed in compared to practice. And you can just see we're dragging up to the back of him, just slowly on every straight, which just shows how important the slipstream can be around some tracks. So Shenington, Pier 5, Rislington, sort of all those really long tracks, and you can really see it there. Just completely drove up to the back of him, super powerful there. And I expect we'll quickly catch up to those drivers in front. But as I was saying, there's some tracks like Shenington, Rislington, where it really does matter if you've got a tow, and it's going to be proven here once again as I sort of push Jack past and he goes for the move. And again, you can make moves like that where you help a driver in front of you sort of push past another driver, not literally ram into someone, but as in like gain that extra speed on the straight so they're able to make a move. So Jack's going to try go up the inside of a driver there, but he isn't quite able to make it stick. And now he's going to be on the outside, but we're going to tuck into the toe, and we're going to shuffle to the inside as he got a little bit of contact with the driver in front. As if you make any sort of contact, especially side to side, or if you lightly tap someone on the rear bumper, especially on like the exits of slower corners, like this hairpin we're coming up to and the final hairpin, you lose so much time because obviously two strokes, they like to bog. So if you don't get the optimal exit, you really just lose so much time. You see there actually, the driver was on the exit, on the outside, and he got a much better drive as he was just able to use more of the track than I could. So we'll try to attempt a switch back, but we're not quite able to do so. But you see there, we're just gonna tuck into the toe once again, and we're gonna go up the inside into the last hairpin, which seemed to be a really great move as lots of people were opening up lots, and you can make quite an easy move there. And this was quite funny actually, because that driver in front of us was signalling us to go through. They're like, go, overtake me. But then actually they started to pull away from me slightly, which I thought was quite funny in my helmet. Maybe not so much in real life, but at the time I thought it was quite funny. As we're going to try and actually get past them, and I think they do let us pass here, so thank you very much. We're going to go up inside, but sadly that's going to mean this lap time is not going to be great, as we've lost a lot of time into the entry of the hairpin. But that was all for qualifying, and let's see what I thought of it. So that was Quali, P4 in group, so I reckon maybe 15th or so in the overall qualifying in the A. Went okay, I guess. Just got a bit unlucky with track positioning and not being in the right place at the right time. Because I set my quickest lap on the second to last lap, but I didn't get bump drafted all the way. And then on the last lap I had a really nice first sector because Jensen was bumping me down the straight. And then there was a yellow flag at the chicane, so I really just lost that lap completely. I reckon if that yellow flag didn't happen, I could have had a possibility of getting pole position in my group anyway. But yes, a bit unlucky. The speed was there for me personally. Yeah, happy-ish. Just a bit annoyed I couldn't be further in front. But Shenington, the races are mental because of how powerful the slipstream is. Yeah, looking forward to the race. Got to make up lots of places, I reckon. So we'll see how it goes for everyone else. So now we're going to jump straight into the pre-final, and we're actually starting in 6th place, I believe. So a lot further in front than we thought we were going to be. So yeah, good start, and away we go. On the outside, which is never going to end well, Miles Harrison in front gets tagged, and we also get tagged, so we lose plenty of places there. Tons of drivers managed to get up the inside of us, including Ethan Pritchard, who's in front of us now. So not the best start. And oh, there's another driver as well. And I think there might be also another driver on our left, as we had to go sort of in the middle of the track. So I think someone was up or inside as well. So not the best start. We lost a couple of places, but we're going to see if we can make some up, which I'm sure we'll be able to do, as the slipstream is just so powerful around this track. See, Ethan Pritchard goes for a move up in front of Miles Harrison. There's contact, which leads these two drivers to go in front and go wide, and I managed to tuck underneath both of them and get the move done. But oh, never mind. The driver who was going past Miles also stayed in front, but we're going to dive back down the inside, so get that move done, and I think we're back roughly into where we started, as we lost a few places on that very first corner, but then we also gained a few. And now the objective is to just work together with Ethan and just try and catch the pack in front, which happens very quickly, as I believe Logan was sort of holding everyone up quite a lot. He was defending quite heavily, as you see how much time we just gained through that one chicane, and that's going to allow me and Ethan to drag right up to the back of this big group of karts in front. And you see there's Jensen Barnard from our qualifying session, managed to qualify in a very respectable position, and is actually in front of us. So we're going to try and work with Ethan to get past these drivers in front, as it was like with Jack in qualifying, where you could push people past on the straight and just make overtakes on the straights. You can make overtakes on the straight before you've even got to the corner. And you see there, he goes for a very late move. That was definitely not a move on a straight, and that was a great move from him. I think about going for the move here, but I think better of it. I let him past, and yeah, I think that's the best thing to do, because otherwise, as shown before, it's very easy to make contact into those chicanes. So I just thought it's a much better idea to just stick behind him, get in the slipstream, as you can see, and just try and push forwards. Oh, never mind, ignore everything I've just said. We're going to go back down the inside into the last hairpin, and I'm going to try and push forward with him. Now, as you can see, we've actually caught up a fair bit to the drivers in front, and I'm going to try and go for a lovely exit. And we actually do manage to get a really nice exit, but Sam just lightly taps the curb and we go into the back of him twice, which just absolutely kills our momentum. As you can see, all that really great drive we had off that final corner was just completely gone as soon as we made that tiny bit of contact. So I kind of suspect Ethan may overtake me here, as he is right behind me. So I sort of predict he's going to go for the move, so I'm going to give plenty of space on the inside, and I'm pretty sure he's going to sail up the inside. Yep, there he goes. And I actually get a really nice cutback on him, and at this point I'm more than in front of him. So I try and hold the move into the first part of the chicane, but then I'm going to let him back through on this part. And looking back on it, I definitely should have just let him keep the move, as it just lost us a bunch of time. And you can see how much time that actually lost to us, to the drivers in front. But anyway, I'm going to continue. We do catch up quite quickly to those drivers in front again, as me and him, I believe me and Ethan were the two quickest drivers on the track. I set the fastest lap of the race, I believe a low 52, I believe, or something like that. And we just had a lot of pace in this race, so I was like, okay, we've both got a lot of pace, we're quicker than drivers in front, let's just try and work together and push forwards. And I am literally pushing him forwards on the straight, as you can see. He was very quick on the entry of that hairpin, actually. Very good on the brakes, Ethan. As I always like to give a bit of breathing room to the drivers in front, as I don't want to hit into the back of them. As you see there, he's actually jumping the carts forward, and it actually worked. As you saw there, he actually gained a tiny bit of time, but obviously he lost that time immediately because we had the slipstream. So now we're quite close to Sam in front, who is in front of Ethan, and we're going to continue to push Ethan forwards. And I believe we might be able to get some move done soon, as we are gaining very quickly. Currently sat in 5th place currently, after starting 6th, but obviously losing a few places off the start due to contact. And we're gonna again try and push Ethan along the state. He's gonna he really wants Sam to work together there, but I guess Sam's having none of it, as obviously Sam sort of realised that I think it's Ollie Bruno, White and Logan McCannis have a bit of a gap, and he's got nose toe, so he's a bit vulnerable at the moment, which happens in these longer sort of kart tracks with the longer straights. If you don't have a sort of group of people, or even like a duo to go with on the track, you lose so much time and you're left very vulnerable, like Sam is at the moment from me and Ethan. So Ethan thought about moving up the inside there, but Sam covers it off, so he's going to go to the outside there. We're going to dive down the inside of Ethan there, but I think again we're going to let him through, as I know he's got a good kart, so I'm going to try and push him again along the straight, which I'm pretty sure was the best thing to do, as he does get a nice exit, but we're going to try and bump him along. As you see there, we're going to go bang into the back of him, which just helps drive him up to the back of Sam again. And you see there, different lines there. Sam's taking a much wider line, and Ethan actually gets stuck on the curb, and I get stuck on it as well, which causes us to lose so much time once again, which just proves what I was saying earlier about how if you even mess up your exit the slightest amount in these races, you lose so much time. As you see, Sam probably gained about a second on us there. It was quite significant. As you see there, heavy defending from Sam, so once again Ethan's going to try and attempt the switch back, give him a little bump to try and get Ethan up the inside, but Sam has the momentum, so he keeps the place for now, he keeps that 3rd place. Now we're going to continue sat behind Ethan into the Bruno chicane, and we're going to try and get the best exit we can. Going to try and push Ethan into a move here. Sam goes defensive, we're going to go right to that side, and we're going to go to this side, we're going to attempt the switch back, and we actually managed the switch back. I'm going to go dive down the inside, but Ethan doesn't see us, and he goes into the back of Sam, so 2 for 1 there in one move, and we actually got a penalty for that, but luckily we got that penalty removed after the race. So we ended up finishing 3rd on the road after starting 6th, even though we dropped down a few places. So good race from us, lots of places made, and really great pace, so we'll see what we thought of it. So that was a pretty final, went from 6th to 2nd. Yeah, really nice race. Car felt pretty decent, so yeah, managed to do pretty well. yeah, pretty happy how I did. Got fastest lap, 52.1. So one of the quickest lap times of the day, I believe. Starting second for the final after that penalty got removed. So yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully it should be a good race. So here we go for the final, starting in second place after third place. Actually got a I think a 1 place penalty or so. So we actually finished the pre-final in second. So good day so far. So starting the race in second, we get a good launch off the line. See Logan McAllister there in front of us, and there's actually I think Ollie Bruno White actually, or Sam Morse there, who was just on our left, but we managed to hold the place. But we do lose a little bit of time, so I think we might just be out the slipstream at the moment. So we're gonna have to try and push hard to try and catch back to the back of Logan. As you already know, the slipstream around Shenington is pretty powerful and very important for where you finish in the races and sort of what lap times you can achieve. So we're again maybe getting a tiny bit of a toe there. Oh yeah, we definitely are a bit further down the straight. As you see there, Logan takes a very wide line. He seems to have the track very dialed in. As you see there, I gained a lot on the entry of the corner, but then he seems to sort of get a much better exit than I did, which was sort of the theme for the entire day, where I'd be very quick on the entry of corners, but then slower on the exits. So definitely something to look back and try and improve on for future races for myself. And yeah, as it seems to be a common theme in sort of my driving, where I seem to push the kart very hard into corners and then not focus on the exit. As you see there, Logan drives off once again, all the way from us. Skipping forwards a few laps, we have slowly caught up to the back of him, so we were a tiny bit quicker at this point. As you see here, we're going to tuck into the toe. He's trying to get every single millisecond he can down the straight, and he's going to go defensive as he looks over the shoulder, which is fair enough. And we're going to try and get underneath, and we're not quite able to do so, but he gets a much better drive off the corner once again, and just seems to sort of fire off much better than we could do. See, coming around turn 1 into turn 2, which had a lot of grip. Well, I think it had a slightly different surface, I think new tarmac I believe, so it was very grippy to drive around on. Now going into the hairpin, braking nice and late, in we go. A lot of grip on the entry, so you could brake pretty late. See, Logan made a slight mistake there. He lost a lot of time on the exit. See, we're going to get the toe as well into the Bruno chicane, and avoiding the curbs really on these corners, as they do unsettle the car a lot, which is not the best thing you want. You want the kart to be as stable as possible, trying to have the most grip possible. See here, a lot of speed being gained on the straight. So you once again close up to the back of Logan, as he just seems to be able to pick up that rear inside wheel much better than I could at that moment in time. So yeah, very good driving from Logan, and I believe we may be skipping on to one of the quickest laps of my race, and I think this was the quickest lap of that I set over the entire day. So good lap from us, and we didn't really get a slipstream off Logan. As you can kind of see, he's probably about a second in front, I would say. So it was quite weird this race, because me and Logan were so similar on pace. I think our fastest laps were like less than a tenth apart. So it was all about who made a mistake, and I think the previous lap I did make a bit of a mistake on the exit of one of the corners, and I lost a bit of time. But this has definitely been a good lap from us so far, and we're going to come around into the last hairpin, braking nice and late, learning Logan's line, which seemed to be much quicker. Just trying to maximise the exit speed out of those corners, and that is a quick lap round Shenington. And once again, we're going to skip forwards a few laps, I believe. And yes, I mean, there's actually a back mark of this race, which made it quite interesting. As you see, Logan got slightly held up there, but luckily the back marker moves off the racing line. And then here I was like, oh dear, because I saw the driver went back on the racing line, he hadn't seen me. So I was like, oh, he's going to make me go around the outside. And I thought he'd point me to the inside, but no, he makes me drive around the outside. So I've lost even more time to Logan in front, which is not great news for when you want to battle for the lead. So I think at this point I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch up, because there's only about 3 minutes left of the race. And he managed to gain a little bit more time with us on the last lap or so, and we're going to come across the line and we will finish in second place. So a good race from us, starting from 6th, and in the pre, and then getting to second. So double second, good points. I think Logan will have extended his championship lead slightly, but yeah, good points in the bag, and I will see you in the next one.